Hello everyone, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I'm here to bring you a short video well, I don't know how short it's going to be. I'm going to do 3 cards today, but I'm here to bring you a video and hope that it's something that you might like. And I'm trying to find my page I need so I can make it bigger, make sure I got you all in focus. And I think I do. First things first, I want to remind you that today is free shipping day on orders over $75. That goes just through today. So it's anything that's current that you would like to order is what is on, including the last chance stuff that's on sale if it's got a sale price. And everything, you get free shipping on all of that. So I just wanted to let you know that. Here's my information if you need any of it. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Representative, I would really love to be that for you and take care of you. If you would like to join my team, I would really like that too. It's always nice to build our teams up and we have a good time. I also have a Facebook group, Stamp Crazy VIP, where I do videos every Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock, which is the videos I bring to you later. And here's a PDF. I put all of these in the files. And today I'm going to do in card 1, card 2, and card 3. And with that, you get the directions for each card and all the supplies and for which card that supply goes to in the video. So I just wanted to let you know that. And if you could share my video, give me a thumbs up. I would surely appreciate that. And just spread the word that someone else is out there that's doing Stampin' Up! Videos. And if people like our products and like to see them, I would love for them to be able to watch my videos. Okay, I am going to get started. This is a new set that's in the new catalog that's coming out. It's called Sending Smiles. And it also has die cuts that go with it, which are these right here, and that is what I'm using. The only thing different that I'm using is right here for my grass. I am using the painted poppies that will be in the new catalog. They're current now and will be there. I'm using this little splotchy piece right here to do grass along here. So I'm going to show you each card that I've done. This one probably takes the longest. And we will start with that one first because that was card 1. This is card 2. This is card 3. So let's get started. I'm going to push those out of my way. We'll sit this one right here and hopefully you can see it. And I'll move my stuff out of the way. So let's get started. Oh, that's great. We'll get started all right, but where's my extra piece of paper? Did I move it? Probably moved it. Let's see what's here. Okay, let me go get a scrap of paper real quick to do all of our stamping on. This is for our die that's right there. And I probably ended up using that for something else while I had stuff sitting out. That's my bad. Let me get that real quick. Well, I'm sorry about that, but here I am back with that. We're starting off with the card base 5.5 by 8.5. We're going to fold it in half and score that. I am using this thick cardstock. I don't know if I told you guys about the story that I was ordering the regular basic white cardstock and I put the wrong number down and got the thick, which I don't use a lot. But since that's all I had and I've been using it, I really, really like it. So I'm going to use it for a lot more stuff. Now, what I'm going to die cut here is the regular that's going to be glued down onto this piece of paper or cardstock. But this, I'm also using the thick because it really helps your die stand up a lot better. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our stamping, and then we'll do all of our die cutting at the same time. So let's see what we have here to do. We are going to start out with this leaf, and it's going to be this big leaf right here. And I'm using the in color, so this is Parakeet Party. And I'm just going to stamp that big leaf and stem right here, so we can use the die with it. Okay. And then we will use the little daisy looking flower with the sweet sorbet, which is this one right here. Because I'm going to die cut all of these at one time, that's why I'm doing it this way. It's much easier. So let's just stick this right here for die cutting. And we're going to do the smaller flower, and he's going to be in Orchid Oasis. I'm going to keep this out for just a second because we're going to use it again. Find my Orchid Oasis in here. There's stuff all over the place. It's a mess. My goodness, I need to take time and clean up. So let's just ink this up. Stick him right here. And then I'm going to come back in with my sweet sorbet, and I'm going to add, out of the stamp sets, I'm going to add this, a card to say hello. So let me because all this is going to be die cut. So I'll take and I'll put this like right here. And that is ready to die cut. Except for I do want to bring in my little dots here. I'll put one on each side. And the only color I used that was not in the new in colors is Daffodil Delight, because that is the center of my flowers. So I'm just going to do those real quick. These flowers are so easy to line up and stuff. So there we go with those. And what I'm doing is cleaning off these little dots so that I don't want to lose them. I want to put them back in my case. Sometimes I wait and clean everything at the end. Okay, we are ready to die cut. So what we're going to do is we are going to use the, can find it. There's a new die coming out called Dots and Spots. That's this die right here, and that's what I cut that out with. So we're going to be using that, and then we're going to be using all the flower dies. Okay, so let's cut our flowers out first. So we'll just set these up there. Move that so that the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine doesn't tear it up. And I had to bring in the big one because of having my paper bigger, my cardstock. And I will stand up for this part. So what I'm going to do is this big sending is going to go right here. We're going to cut that out. We're going to cut out the label die right here for a card to say hello. The little flower goes like so, I think. The stem, these line up pretty easy, you know, as far as the die cuts and lining them up. They do line up pretty easy. Now when you're doing a bunch at one time and you're like me, you don't use washi tape or anything, you're kind of have to move them around some when you knock things over. I think we look good. So let's take and put this over the top. And when I do this, I put my hand down to hold them till I get it stuck in there, and then I roll. So let's bring them out here. We'll just put these back down. I don't want to lose my dies. I've done that before. Not fun. And then there's all the dies cut out. So that's all of our... The only thing I did not cut, I already have it pre-cut, is the word sending. I did go ahead and do that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this die and I'm just going to line my paper up inside because it's cut a lot smaller. So I'm just trying to kind of line that up to put down. This cut's really easy, but let me tell you, it has a lot of dots that's cut out that want to go everywhere. And I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to pull this off. Oh, they all stayed down. That was good. Usually they're popping everywhere like these are, but it didn't do that, so we'll clean that later. And also, well, actually what I do is I take it, over this, I keep a paper pumpkin box. I laid my mat in there. And I use our old brush. It's the same thing, but I like the handle on this one. It's just easier for me to grip. But then you can just go ahead and clean all the dots out. And you have a whole lot of dots if you can see those in there. It's crazy. Lots of dots. So we can just put that out of our way. We can put this out of our way. We're done with it. Now we're ready to put our card together. It's a super simple card to put together. There's that. Get our dies out of the way. Here's our card. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to glue these. And when I cut these, I cut them both at the same time so that I know that they're going to fit. So let's turn that over. If there's enough glue in this one, we'll see. I didn't have the other one turned upside down, so. But what I do is I just, come on. That one doesn't want to work. I go through so much glue, but this is my favorite glue to use when it works. Okay, what I'm doing is just, oh, there it started working. Came out all over the place. So I'm just going around these edges because I want some glue to hold my edges down really good. And then I'll just go through some lines right here. You don't have to do every one. Just enough to get it to hold down really well. And I got glue right there, so let's get that off real quick. You know what I'll have to use? My trusty little eraser. So there we go, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue this on this card. And I glue it at an angle. I just like to sometimes do this little angled look with my cards. And then we're going to put our flowers together and our words. So what I do here is I take a glue dot and I'll put it on the front of my stem where my flower's going to go. And I'll go ahead and do them both at one time. There we go. And then I will take my flowers and I just want to glue that down to where the glue dot does not show. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that over and I'm going to put some dimensionals right over top of that to kind of hold it down. I think I'm going to run out of some, so let's take and cut some of it up. Put some of it on here kind of cut up to hold it up. And it's up to you how much you really want it to hold up, what you want to put on it. I want to hold that big flower up a lot. Put a little piece in here to hold that stem up. And do a little piece on this stem. Because this you can cut just to the size you want it. And one right down here. Okay, so there's our flower. So let's go ahead and peel up the pieces. I think these are kind of like my favorite flowers so far. And I love these colors. Do you guys like the new in colors that we have? I hope so. Making sure all my pieces are off. And then what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put this on at an angle, like so. Got a little bit of glue right there in that dot. Have I made anybody a fan of glue erasers yet? Yeah, I use it probably every time we do something. I got glue on here, so I'm going to get it off too. There we go. Now, I'm going to take my sending and I'm going to use my craft mat, because what you can do, you can put your little petal of glue there. I'm going to get my word sending out of here, which looks like this. I'm going to turn it over to the back. I'm going to take a sponge and I'm just going to work that glue out a little bit. And I'm going to sponge my this thing really bounces around. You gotta okay, that looks good. Let's move this out of the way. It could be a mess. And here's our sending. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue this on top. So I kind of, and you can move your letters around to make sure that they're in there. I don't do a lot of, as long as they're fitting in, I'm fine with that. So there we go. Turn it over and just kind of, so you can make sure you've got that down good. Now what I do is, let me find my marker. I got my Stampin' Blend and I've got the dark or the light Orchid Oasis. I always lose the little thing that should be for my dot up here. So I just take the small end, hold that up there, let it bleed out a minute and make my dot. And you can't tell anything any different. So that's just an easier way to do that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to put some pieces on here. And we're just going to cut this up since it's here. And make some pieces. Because we want to hold that down. And you want it held down evenly, so all these big spots, I want to make sure I get something in them. And I'm going to put just a narrow piece right here, because I didn't make that long enough. And I'll put a piece in right here. Okay, now we'll peel that off. And if you make these stick down really good, they peel off easier. Well, get stickies all over the place. And like I said, this is probably the card that takes the longest. I'm just going to put that down. Then I'm going to glue this right in under that. And that way our card is finished. There you go. That's our finished card. All right, now we're going to move that over to the side. We're going to do this one. This one was a challenge for me because it's only one. It's not even any layers. It's just your card base stamped on. But I wanted to showcase the different flowers. There is a flower that looks like this in real life called a hot poker. And that's what I was kind of replicating duplicating on this, so let's put this here. We are going to take this leaf off a minute. We're going to take the Parakeet Party, and we're just going to stamp some you can just stamp these at different heights. Okay, so there's that. Now what I did was I took this little blobby looking thing, little splotch, opened up my card as I did this, and I just take, I'm going to put this on this side to ink it, and I'm just running it around the bottom of my card. And you don't have to be really careful with what you're doing. And there we go. We have a little bit of grass at the bottom. That's easy peasy. I've got green ink all over the place. I like green. It's a good thing. Okay, now we are going to take our little poker flower. That's what I call him. He's the hot poker flower. Let me get a hold of him. And we're going to use sponge daubers. This is how I store my sponge daubers. I don't know about you, but we're going to use Sweet Sorbet and Daffodil Delight. So we are going to open up those two, move these out of our way. And see if I can keep my inks in the right colors today. So we don't need this anymore. Let's move it out of the way. So I'm going to ink in my yellow first. And then what I did, I took my yellow dauber and see, told you, wrong thing. I do it all the time. I should put the color I'm using first closest to me. That would be the smart thing to do. I'm cleaning out my dauber a little bit because I want to use it with my yellow. So let's rub that out and see what we do. See what it does with yellow. I think it'll be okay. And then I'm going to take, I'm going to see if there's some left in here. And I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to stamp. And we're going to do that across the card. And unfortunately, you have to do it one at a time. And you don't have to, especially the Sweet Sorbet, you don't have to ink that up all the time. It'll have a lot of ink in it for a while. The yellow, I tend to at least ink up every 2 to 3 flowers because it's lighter. They're fun little flowers to do. And there we go. We have some flowers across our card. So let's put these up. We don't need those. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sending and I'm going to take my Sweet Sorbet ink. I forgot to leave that open. Just ink that up. At least these ink up really, really well, which I'm really glad about. That I'm going to do birthday wishes. So let's get that out, and it is right here, I think. And I'm going to do the birthday wishes in black. There we go. We're going to put some embellishments on that, and it will be done. And what I used was the little brass butterflies. Which are these right here. I'm going to use a big one. And a little one. And there we go. That is our 2 cards there. We got those done. And we'll do our other one real quick and it'll be done. So they're cute cards with this. This one I did on Tahitian Tide, which is another new in color. So let's fold that in half. I'm just messy today. I'm messy every day, though. I don't know what I'm talking about. I get so messy. And then I've got these 2 pieces of paper. This one's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. This is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. And we are going to stamp our flowers. I'm going to need this little piece of scrap paper, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 leaves with the green. I'm going to do the big one that we used. Actually, I'm using the same 2 that we already used. And I am going to put one down here. And I'm going to turn that over. I got them both on the same block. And then I'm going to put one right here for my flowers, okay? Started to say, I thought I laid my flower out. I did. It's right here. And I'm using Tahitian Tide ink for my flowers. We're just going to ink those up. Okay. And then we're going to use the little center that goes in with that. And with that, I am going to use the Starry Sky. I had to think of the other color name. Starry Sky is going to be my centers of my flower. Okay, there's that done. And then we will take, I'm going to switch little stamps here. We're going to do a note of thanks. So let's put that on the block. Ink it up. We're just going to put that in this corner right here. Okay. Now for the sending, we're going to do the sending the same way, but first, before we do that, we are going to glue these two pieces together. The other day when I did this card, I was like all thumbs trying to do my baker's twine on there. Let's see how I do today. Sometimes I can just go to town with it and sometimes not so well. So we'll see. So what I've got is the baker's twine, and that comes in all of the, comes in a pack with all of the new in colors. And I am using the, whoops, I didn't mean for that to happen. But you know what? It might be staying that way. I think it is. We're going to make a cricket card, guys. Because it doesn't want to come off. So it's going to kind of look like my first card. Cricket. Oh, well. That's because I hit it with the glue being wet. So let's get a pair of scissors out of here. Hope they cut. Then what I want to do is I want to take and tie a knot first, because this is small enough that when you tie your knot, you can't tell it in your bow. So just pull that really tight. And then for some reason, when I make a bow and I want my streamers down, I have to turn my card upside down. Don't ask me why, but it turns out better for me. Anything that'll work, right? So let's trim these. I got, it's going to stick to me. There we go. Who says you can't make a cricket card, right? When that happens with your... I don't let stuff like that bother me. There is always a way to fix something. It might not be what you planned, but it's going to work anyway, so... And whoever I send this to will not see this one, so it doesn't matter. And this is going to go down towards the bottom. And I'm actually going to use dimensionals on it. I put those on the twine just to hold the twine down. I used that whole little piece there. Scraps and all, I like that. So we're going to get this down right here. Of course, it's hard to tell if you're getting it on there straight, but we'll look at the blue. Maybe. It's going to look funny. Maybe I'll put it on at an angle. How's that? There we go. Now we're going to take the sending, and we're going to do the same thing we did with the first part. I've already got this one cut out of the Starry Night, or Starry Sky, and then the white. So let's see if this glue is too hard or if we can use it. I think we can use it. Yeah, so we're going to turn this over. And we're just, if you can tell, I'm just putting some glue on it because we want it to stay down. Almost thought I was doing something wrong, but I'm not. I was thinking of the next step and doing this step. Not a good thing to do. Okay, so I'm going to take it and I'm going to put my S down first. I've done this different ways to see which way I like it. I like doing the S first. I did it with like starting in the center and then going out each way. I did it starting with the G. It's going to be personal preference with what you do. And as you can tell, I don't have the I there. So what I did was I took some of the decorative matte gems, and I took the one that is the Parakeet Party, and I put that in where the dot of the eye goes. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and because this is raised up, goodness, we have to raise this up, okay? So what I'm going to do is on this G right here, let me see, I'm going to actually use my smaller dots if I can find them real quick. They're right over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put and I'm going to peel off the paper. Can you see what I'm doing? And then I'm going to take and put another dot right on top of that. That way it'll give us the height that it needs to be above this. Let me see if I want to put any more. I think I'm going to put one right here at the top of this D. Because he's going to be off of the page, so I'm doing 2. Now what I'm going to do is see where I want, in this E right here at this, the edge of the S and the E in the end, I can put a little bit of glue. Because they are going to be touching the card base, the mat there on the paper. So we've got those off, and we'll just take and we'll put this down. And you're going to see this one's going to look much different than the other one, but that holds that up for us to do our sending. See, now this one's over a little bit because my card was scooted over a little bit. So, but you know, nobody knows, so it's okay. You guys know. So what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to add some Tahitian Tide. I did the Starry Sky there. Let's do some Tahitian Tide over here. See how that looks. Oh, let's go here. So that's the finished card. Okay. Now I did put, I don't have a piece out here. Somehow I got sidetracked with that. I did put a white piece in here and then put just a little dot, another little flower that's in the set of Sending Smiles. So that is the new set, Sending Smiles. So you got to see that. You might want to put that on your wish list for May 3rd when it comes out in the new catalog. If you need a catalog, let me know. I'll be happy to send you one. Just put it in the comments and I'll be checking back on those. For now, that is all I have, and I hope all of you have a very nice day. Bye.